You thought the Solgaleo Palkia team was bad. Hello and welcome back to my Ultra Sun 100 Battle video series, where today I am rocking probably the worst Moon Series team to ever graze this earth. I am rocking Zygarde 10%, Solgaleo, Tapu Koko, and Talonflame, and my opponent, not Sandy VGC, is rocking their own Tapu Koko, as well as Yveltal, Groudon, and Stakataka. So, why is this team the worst? Well, I don't know. I couldn't really get past the 1500s on the ladder with it, but I decided to play with it a bunch anyway, so I have a ton of replays with this team. But long story short, don't use Zygarde 10%, and the other members of this team were Suicune and something else. I don't really remember now, but I'm sure we'll see it in play eventually. But let's just see how this team plays sort of in an ideal situation. Zygarde 10% and Solgaleo. So we're challenged by not Sandy VGC, and they are going. Well, first off, my leads go first here. I'm going to lead with my Zygarde and my Solgaleo, my two restricted Pokemon, and my opponent is going to lead Tapu Koko and Yveltal. The Tapu Koko isn't looking that threatening because I have a ground type, and my Solgaleo is quite bulky as well, but Yveltal is threatening my Solgaleo out quite a bit with like a really powerful knockoff or something like that. So I'm just gonna withdraw my Solgaleo, and Incineroar was the sixth member of my team, I remember now. I'm gonna go into my Tapu Koko here, something that threatens the Yveltal a whole lot more. Their Tapu Koko is actually gonna go for the Protect, which is really good for me, because now my Zygarde is gonna be free to go for the Dragon Dance, getting +1 attack and +1 speed. And now the Yveltal is actually gonna target the Zygarde slot with a knockoff. Take me down to Focus Sash, and now my Power Construct is going to activate on my Zygarde, and I'm going to become the complete form. So, yeah, it's definitely not better than Zygarde 50%, and a lot of people were able to read the Focus Sash on this, looking back on it, but I think it's a really, it was fun when I was able to pull it off to get complete form from Focus Sash. Now the Yveltal is going to go for a Sucker Punch, but the added bulk from complete form is going to help me be able to live that. And a +1000 arrows is going to do a ton to the Yveltal and just delete the Tapu Koko. And now I'm going to go for the Volt Switch with my Tapu Koko. It does a lot of damage, but unfortunately it is not able to knock it out. And I'm going to go back into my Solgaleo here. So in comes my Solgaleo, and my opponent is going to go into their Groudon. And my Zygarde isn't that great of HP, so it definitely is kind of threatened by this Groudon here, but at the same time, like, Yveltal is definitely within the range of another 1000 arrows, so I am just gonna go, well, okay, first off, Yveltal Sucker Punches, thinking maybe with a crit they can take out Zygarde, but unfortunately for them, we are going to be able to live, and I am just gonna go for another 1000 arrows, knocking out the Yveltal and doing a ton to Groudon as well, with a lucky crit there, so, Yveltal is gonna go down, fortunately for me, and I'm going to go for a Sunsteel Strike into the Groudon. And since I'm Life Orb Solgaleo, I'm hoping that maybe this will be able to knock it out. But unfortunately, Groudon is going to live it just a sliver, and he's going to eat his berry. Much bulkier, sort of Groudon variant with the Iapapa berry, similar to the one I used on my Groudon QREM team. But now Precipice Blades is going to miss my Zygarde, which is really lucky for me, and it's going to do a lot to my Solgaleo, but we are going to be able to live. And my opponent is going to go into their last, which is the Stakataka. And Stakataka is definitely not something that wants to be facing down a Zygarde. Like, I know it gets Wide Guard, but at the same time, like, that'll only get you so far, especially since I have my Solgaleo on the field as well. So Groudon's going to protect, and no Wide Guard or anything's going to come out from the Stakataka. I'm just going to be able to fire off a +1000 arrows and just take out the Stakataka really easily. And now it's kind of this Groudon versus the world here. I have all four of my Pokemon still, and I have my two restricteds facing down this Groudon, and there's not really anything it's going to be able to do, and knowing that my opponent is going to forfeit. So, that was definitely the ideal situation for this awful team with Zygarde and Solgaleo. Just getting a Dragon Dance off turn 1 and getting Power Construct to proc, and then just becoming this huge threat was basically the idea of the team, and then Solgaleo is there to help against Zygarde's rather weak Fairy matchup. But this team definitely is not as good as these replays will let on. I know I save a lot of wins and like no losses, but Believe me, I did take a lot of L's with this team. But that's going to be that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.